Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. How are you?
Very good. Yeah, how are you?
Good. Thanks for willing to do this.
Yeah, thanks for reaching out.
Yeah, so I could just jump around before getting to Genshin.
Oh, yeah, yeah, sounds good.
So I think you're the first voice actor I've talked to that had like a professional music career and then went into voice acting.
Oh, really? No way. Yeah. Yeah, it was a fun way to spend my late 20s, you know. But actually I know a lot of musicians that have now become voice actors because there's a lot of similar skills and also equipment, which since most things are record from home nowadays, it's nice to already have the mics, the interface, the tech skills. So yeah, that's awesome.
Was voice acting always something that you wanted to do more?
Yeah, I guess, I was thinking about it. I think I've always wanted to be an actor, but I tried out for the play when I was in high school, and I remember being so brave, and I thought I got the audition. It was happened during lunch, and I thought I did really well, and then I didn't get it, so I was really like sad by that. But especially like in high school, it's usually the same drama people, and they're always trying out for each one. So I think it's like kind of an insular community. So they probably didn't want to just give a coveted role to like this newcomer that came in. So I since high school I didn't really try again until um, yeah I rediscovered it again after the music career was kind of getting slower. Yeah. But, yeah, I always kinda wanted to be an actor, and I'd done some voiceover for, like, a PBS show when I was interning in college and, worked in production, but, yeah, not really, uh yeah, it kinda came as a surprise how much I loved it.
You have a special story of how you got into SAG.
Oh, what was it? Oh, I think actually, how I became SAG eligible was not through voice acting, so it was, um, uh when my band this was like over 10 years ago, my band got signed to Universal Republic, and we got a big commercial for Nokia where we were playing a concert. So this was on camera, and we were playing a concert and playing our song, Little Games. It was our minor hit, and someone's in the audience taking a picture of us. So that was a SAG commercial. So that was like how I became eligible. And then much later, I worked. So to go back a little bit, like I took my first voiceover classes in 2015. So I was like three years after that commercial, and I took them at Kalmanson in Burbank, which anyone can take classes, voice acting classes through. They're great. And my teacher was Steve Staley.
Oh yeah,
Um, yeah, he's amazing, and it was a voice acting for actors class, but it's like their foundations class. And I took 10 weeks with him, and he looked at me and he said, after I remember out doing a commercial or something in the booth, and then he looked at me and was like, "You sound like a boy." And I was like, "Oh." And then he was like, "That's a gold mine. You need to take this seriously." He looked at me and said that. And I was like, "Whoa." Because I have this naturally young sounding voice. And I guess when he said, like, you have to take this seriously, I took that to heart. So I took, more classes there, but still had his words ringing with me, and, you start out, like, on the voice 1, 2, 3 at first, but after a couple years of that, I got brave and asked for a recommendation for an agent through a production I worked with, and then I got signed with Vox in 2021, and that's when I got my, second more union stuff, which was awesome, yeah.
that is really interesting because one signature question I have is always asking voice actresses like what their process for boy voices is, but you naturally sound so much like that.
Oh, I know, yeah, I sound like a little kid. I'm, like, well into my 30s, but I even call we just got a dog, and I was calling, we adopted him, and I was calling a dog trainer, and the dog trainer was like, "Are you over 18?" I was like, "Yes." It's like, "You need your parents' permission to" "No, wait." It's funny. But yeah, yeah, I've had a couple of sessions where they're like, "Oh, you're not really 12?" 'Cause I do a lot of kids' voices.
Yeah, that does seem like a lot of the animation projects you work on are like children and entertainment. Is that like just something that ended up happening, or
Yeah, kinda naturally, and yeah, I play a lot of kids, so I was excited. I booked something recently, which hopefully it'll come out next year, but I'm not a kid in it, so I was like, "Oh, this is cool." I feel more mature, but, yeah, it's usually children, and I was in a workshop once, and the director said, "Don't ever be sad about sounding young because that's a good problem to have." You know, it's because 'cause you're always relevant, you always sound like a young better to sound more young than too old, I guess. But both are
Mhm.
fine. Neither are bad, it's just like your voice print. 'Cause, yeah, I would love to have, like, this sultry, mature voice too, but yeah, this is just who I am, and yeah, it's making it work.
what do you think the case is so far where you've had to alter your voice the most significantly for anything?
Oh, man, I'm trying to oh, I worked on the, I'm pretty sure this is out, but one of the Final Fantasy, um, games, I worked on a bunch of them as just atmospheric voices, and one of them, it's a quest where I've turned into a frog, so I had to just express all the emotions, but as, like, "Ribbit, ribbit," like, just sad ribbit or excited ribbit, stuff like that. That's probably the weirdest one, it was pretty fun.
What about if there has been something so far the case where you've had to get the darkest headspace for a role?
Mm. I worked on something recently that I can't talk about, but it was a scene where I stumble upon, uh, a deceased family member, so that was pretty sad to think about. You have to get in that space. Yeah, but it's yeah, it's I'm always taking acting classes and workshops because it's just such um, a muscle, and there's all these techniques to help you get in those emotional spaces. So I'm still learning and growing as an actor. It's a fun journey.
Is Genshin like one of the first major like anime kind of roles that you've had?
Yeah, I think it's the only one. I haven't actually, what's funny? My mom's from Japan, um, and I've auditioned for anime, but I've never ever booked one. I did get a call back for one, and I think it's fine to say this because it came out, Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
Yeah.
I got a call back for that last year, but, I didn't get it. But the person that got it is very good, so I totally understand. But that was the closest I ever got. So, yeah, Genshin's the first sort of anime, um, game and anything in the anime world I've done. It's really fun.
Have you auditioned for other characters before, or is this the first time
I think
for
this is the
Genshin?
first time because actually I didn't even know I was auditioning for Genshin because
Oh,
they use
okay.
code names. So I didn't know what it was, and when I was told, I was like, "Oh, that's cool." I was like, "Wow, I didn't even know I auditioned." That's what that was. Because it's funny, you probably have heard about this. They use code names, so sometimes you don't even know what you're working on until you get to the session, um, and then they tell you.
So in terms of developing her voice, was it like based off the other language performances, or was it just kind of do your own thing?
Yeah, I never was shared the other languages or the Japanese voice artist. I've done other productions where they do that because 'cause they're matching the lip flap, but they didn't do that here, and it was just kind of working with Chris, um, on developing the voice and, uh, making sure she's on the story, she's, like, hungry for the next, headline, and she's really a go-getter, so she talks fast, which made, it makes it makes her the recording a little bit tough sometimes because she talks so fast and trying to keep up that pace, but also emote. So I've gotten good at, speaking, very fast, but also enunciating, and yeah, uh, just kinda, like, getting that all together with her has been really fun. She's a very spunky character, but very goal-oriented and really wants to break that next story and really obsessed with making a name for herself by getting, like, the biggest next headline. Pretty fun.
Was there like a or is there like a default line that you have to get into her headspace or something that you do?
The one that comes to mind is just, like, whenever she meets a new person, she introduces herself, so she, the old, like, "Hello, I'm Charlotte, a reporter for the Steambird." Like, very, like, I'm on this story, can you tell me more about the," and then she'll go into, like, her question. And that's kinda like, "Alright, here we go." Yeah, she's fun.
Or your thoughts when you saw her design for the first time?
I thought it was really cool, yeah, I love her hair, her camera, and seeing people's art, the fan art and stuff of her is really cool and extremely impressive. Yeah, I am totally blown away by the talent out there, and yeah, just really cool.
What could you relate to her the most then?
Um, Charlotte, I relate to I relate to how goal-oriented she is, like, when she and there's a little bit of stubbornness about, like, when she wants something, she's gonna figure it out, and she's gonna report on it, and I also relate to there's a little bit of kinda goofiness in there and a little sometimes snarkiness. It's she can laugh at herself. I think that's fun, yeah.
But, like the least or the like least similar ways that you guys are like each other?
The least similar ways. I, uh let's see. I don't know. Let me think about that. The least similar. I'm probably not as extroverted as her.
Mm.
I would not go up to all these random people, or not random, but I would have trouble just approaching people with my questions and trying to get them to tell their trying to get information from them. I'm much more shy.
I think she does have in terms of like every other character that's been released so far, that her like way of attacking with her camera is more unique than anybody else.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember seeing that. That was cool. And kind of like that's cool. Very unique weapon. Who would have thought it would be a weapon, a camera?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on her relationships with other characters?
Um, yeah, I mean, it's always interesting. I'm not super familiar with the subtleties and everything, but you can tell when there's a little bit of someone's making someone a little coy, or you know, the the little there might be some tension here or there, or like someone's making someone laugh. Yeah, it's all very interesting.
Are you planning on playing the game now, or have you started? Or
I downloaded it, but I'm having a lot of fun watching, like, other people play on YouTube, um, or on Twitch, and so many amazing voice actors from Genshin stream it too, and it's really fun to watch them, and, um, I'm kind of yeah, I think I'm more of a watcher. I'm addicted to a couple other games right now, so I have to get those out of my system first.
are you friends with many other cast members in it?
Yeah, everyone's really nice. I mean, I know a couple of the people, Julia Gu and um, Jenny Yokobori. Uh, we've worked on some other things together, so yeah, it's really fun. Uh, and I'm looking forward to meeting more of the cast.
Outside of what you mentioned already, do you have like a single favorite line, or it's probably more than one?
Hmm. Oh man, I'll have to think about this. Let's see. I can't think of one right now. I there's so many lines, so sometimes the sessions are, like, up to 4 hours long, so there's so much material, and there's so much good stuff, but sometimes I can't remember all of it. Charlotte would, like, offer Paimon food for information. It's pretty funny, like, these little weaknesses.
Mhm. Is there something that you would like to see for her character?
Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see where everything goes. Sure, like I don't know. It's always interesting a romance or something. That could be interesting. I don't know anything about what happens next, so it's
Okay.
uh, uh these are things that I think would be fun. I don't know. Uh I love to see some more interesting stories come out that Charlotte reports on, some conspiracies or something. Yeah, these are just guesses. I don't know if people take it as the truth, I might get in trouble. It's just coming from me, yeah.
Well, I did see that you just recently revealed a really cool print for her on social media.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome. Yeah. Streamily helped me find that person. Um, it was yeah, amazing, the artist. I have to look up the name, but yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. CG Crescent, yeah, beautiful art.
Is that the first one of her that you've had commissioned?
I did one for Brawl Stars, yeah, but it's
Okay.
a little different, fan base. That one, a little more, kinda cartoony, cute art, yeah. Yeah.
Is there anything that you want to say to the Charlotte fan base?
Oh, yeah, thank you for welcoming me into the Genshin Impact world. It's very, very awesome, and, yeah, everyone said really nice things on Twitter, so I'm really, really, really feel welcome. Thank you so much.
So is this like the most recent, safest thing you can talk about, or is there anything else that's upcoming that you can?
Yeah, this is the most recent thing. Yeah, last year worked on Destiny 2. Um, uh, yeah, I work on like American animation stuff. Done some guest spots on Big Nate on Nickelodeon and We Baby Bears and Craig of the Creek. Those are all within the last year. Yeah, as far as oh, yeah. Well, the other latest video game was Tears of the Kingdom. I did
Oh yeah.
the English voice of Josha. Yeah, she's mostly going, "Heh? Ooh," like the nonverbal sounds.
Are you like much of a big anime person yourself?
Um, I watch here and there, but I'm really into the Studio Ghibli films.
Oh yeah.
Ghibli, yeah. Uh, love Spirited Away, yeah. Um, Princess Mononoke, everything. Um, and it's actually Spirited Away is back in theaters this I think right now maybe. Yeah, they're doing a theater thing, so I'm hoping to see it in the on the big screen again.
Well, my final question is always asking, what do you want your legacy to be?
Oh wow. Yeah, I think I love being a part of creating things that kind of help people um escape for a little bit and just enjoy life, with their family or if they're just on the couch at home and need a night off and I really found a lot of comfort with TV shows and movies, growing up and even now. So being a part of creating that stuff is such an honor. So yeah, I just hope to be a part of more projects like that with all more amazingly talented, creative people, and yeah, help everyone get through their day a little easier.
Well, thank you. I'm glad that we got to do this.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Have a good
Yeah,
rest
thanks
of your
so
day then.
much. You too. Bye. Take
Bye.
care.